Washington, D.C. We're inside Nationals Park for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Good look at the ballpark from across the Anacostia River. The Cubs and Nats will play Game 2 of a 4-game weekend series. And welcome to Cubs baseball here on CSN. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. The Cubs are 2-2 on this road trip. Another low-scoring affair, a 2-1 win. It was a thriller last night.
Yeah, these teams have played 4 games now, including the series back in Chicago. A total of 14 runs scored in the 4. So this one pretty true to form, a 2-1 ball game. We had to wait a while through the rain before we got started.
First inning, the Cubs got all of their runs in the first. 2 of them, they probably felt like they should have had more. Bases loaded walk. Gio Gonzalez working to Junior Lake. Then a double play ball off the bat of Starlin Castro. It's 2-0 Cubs at that point. And now we move to the 9th inning. And Hector Rondon was struggling. He needed some help, but he got it.
He got bailed out. Anthony Rizzo made eye contact with David Ross. Put a pickoff play on Ross with a perfect throw down there to first base. He was the guy last night. He threw out 2 would-be base stealers and then made that throw to first base for the pick.
Yeah, rather unique way to end the ball game for sure. Replay came into play last night. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's get into the starting pitching matchup tonight. Tsuyoshi Wada will go against Tanner Roark.
Yeah, this is a rematch from back in Chicago on May 25th. Both guys pitched quite well in that game, and no decision for Wada. That's all he's had. No decisions in his 3 starts. The number's very good. 4 hits and 5 1/3, 1 run allowed by Wada in that start.
Tanner Roark, an Illinois native, his 3rd start since jumping out of the bullpen and into the rotation due to injuries.
Yeah, 15-game winner last year, but forced to the bullpen. He's been very good, and in that start against the Cubs, 5 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball.
So the Cubs have played 25 one-run games out of 52 total, including last night. The Nationals, meanwhile, got knocked out of first place. They dropped 6 of 7. Game 2 of this set is next.
Is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
It's turned into a very lovely evening for baseball. Overcast skies, but it's dry. And a big Friday night crowd gathering. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. And that man is Dexter Fowler. Here's right-hander Tanner Roark. Will pitch for the Nationals.
What a night. Can't play tonight, you can't play.
So 14 runs total in the 4 games between those two teams. So we could just go first team to 3 wins and shut it down.
Here we go. Roark to Fowler for strike on a fastball to get us underway tonight. Yeah, final scores in the first 4 games: 2-1, 3-2, 3-0, and 2-1. Sounds like a Stanley Cup game, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, pitching has been outstanding, obviously.
Rob Drake calling balls and strikes. Sinker misses the inside corner. Back comes a right-hander, and Fowler hits it way up in the air, even higher than our booth, which is not easy to do. Harper's got it. And the rest of the Cubs batting order, it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Fowler, Rizzo, and Bryant at the top. Montero, Lake, Castro occupy the middle. Chris Coughlin, good numbers against tonight's national starter. Wada and Russell, 8 and 9. Here's Rizzo moving up to the number 2 spot. And he comes in with a 9-game hitting streak as we check out our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher Tanner Roark of Wilmington, Illinois.
This is his 3rd start since joining the rotation. That'll be easy for Zimmerman. Well, when you saw Zimmerman there at first base, let's check in with the rest of the Washington Nationals. Defensively this evening, they have a very talented, very speedy outfield. Anchored by Denard Span in center. He's got Michael Taylor in left. Jason Worth is on the DL, will be for quite some time. Bryce Harper, not only is he getting it done with the bat, but he's been outstanding defensively as well. Rendon, Desmond, Espinosa, Zimmerman third to first. Ramos back behind the plate.
I think he's been outstandingly defensive.
He's been outstandingly defensively.
That would have worked. Foul strike.
You're so defensive. Look how deep he is for Bryant, even in right field. Harper just a few paces from the warning track out there.
The 0-1 to Chris is in there for a strike. So talked about Roark in Chicago last week. 25th round pick of the Texas Rangers 2008 after pitching for Southern Illinois in the Frontier League, an independent team. Wilmington, Illinois, about 60 miles southwest of Chicago. He went to the University of Illinois, did leave the team after his sophomore season due to academic reasons, and he led Wilmington high to a couple of Illinois State baseball championships, 2003 and 2005.
He's also an all-state quarterback while in high school.
Count holding at 2-2. Miguel Montero, back in the lineup for the first time in 4 days, is on deck.
Roark, 2 4-seam fastball. He's shot clocked at 94. He can get to 96. Slider, curve, and a change.
Strike 3 called, and looked like a pretty good pitch just below the belt. Nationals coming up against Tsuyoshi Wada. numbers on the Nationals offense here early on. It's been interesting to say the least. Their Southwest starting lineup spans Zimmerman and Harper. You see, Harper hasn't done much against the Cubs here lately, going back to last year, which kind of concerns you a little bit, doesn't it? Rendon, Ramos, Desmond in the middle, Espinosa, Taylor the left fielder, and the pitcher Roark.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively. Outfield duties fall to Coughlin, Fowler, and Lake. Infield third to first, Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo. Miguel Montero behind the plate tonight. And Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Cubs, Yoshi Wada. 3 starts, all good ones. No wins, no losses yet, a 2.30 ERA. He's been striking people out. 19 punch-outs in 15 2/3 so far for Wada. Allowed a couple of long balls.
And here is Denard Span. And a leadoff homer against Wada at Wrigley Field. That's a strike.
Wada's going to go 88 to 91 with the fastball. Slider, change, real good change. And a curveball as well. It's been a good weapon for him.
In the air out of the deep center. Fowler going after it. He's got it just onto the warning track.
Fowler was playing fairly shallow for Span, so he had a long way to go, but there's a lot of air under that fly ball, and he was able to cruise on underneath it, put it away for out number 1.
That'll bring up Ryan Zimmerman. So the good, Wada has been very effective in his first 3 starts. I wouldn't say the bad, but the other side of it would be maybe the better way to put it. He hasn't gone deep. Has yet to complete 6 innings in any of his 3 starts.
And I think that's not that he was ineffective. It was just he was pitching in tight games, and Joe Madden just liked the matchups going to his bullpen when he did. And Wada not being a power guy, you're a little more wary of a guy like Wada the 3rd time through the batting order.
Popped up right side, and it'll be Russell for the 2nd out.
Joe talked a little bit about that this afternoon before batting practice. He said, maybe he'll kind of lengthen the leash a little bit for Wada here tonight, depending on how the game plays out. And if he's got a 3 or 4 run lead, he'll probably let him push it a little bit. If it's a 1-run game again, and a dangerous hitter up, he may make that move to the bullpen. And this Joe is saying basically every night he prepares to play a game like they played last night. It's going to be tight. You have to kind of project how you want to use your bullpen.
Harper with 2 outs and nobody on. Batting 3rd in their lineup tonight. 0 for 3 with a walk and an RBI in game 1. He hit 3rd to start the season, but has hit cleanup mostly. 40 times he's batted 4th. This is the 14th time he has hit 3rd. If there were an MVP of MLB, I'd say he'd be the leading candidate at this point, let alone the National League. He leads the majors in wins above replacement according to Fangraphs, 3.8, about a third of the way into the season. That's really good. That's probably better than really good.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and he's just a kid. We forget he's been in the league a few years now, but he's younger than Chris Bryant. His game has ripened, taking a lot more walks.
The 3-1 misses, and that is ball 4. That is his major league leading 47th free pass.
Borderline pitches in that sequence. One against Wada. This guy's a big key here, Anthony Rendon. They just got him off the DL last night. Had a couple hits in the ball game, and one of the better players in the league last year.
he was jilted at the altar, so to speak, last night, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was hitting when
he was at bat
when the game ended.
When the game came to an end. And there's been a lot of discussion here in the last 21 hours or so about how the game did end, and the fact that not only did David Ross pick off Clint Robinson, but Matt Williams did not come out and ask for a replay review. He was out of challenges, but as most baseball fans know, after the 7th inning, the crew chief can ask New York for a review if requested by a manager. And considering how close that play was at first and the fact it was the final out of the game, I have no doubt if he had asked Joe West that they would have gone to New York, but he did not, and I think he might have been safe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was safe. The looks we had at him, we didn't take a lot of looks because it was the end of the ball game, but it looked like when Anthony swiped the tag, he kind of came through, missed Robinson, and Robinson was able to get his hand back to the base. He looked like he was going to be out easily, and I think that's why the out call was made, and I think it's why Matt Williams didn't argue. I think Matt was just disgusted that his guy looked to be picked off so easily and probably just turned and headed into his office. If he had to do it all over again, there's no doubt he would go out and say, hey, you guys mind taking a look at that one?
Yeah, I don't see a scenario in which they would not have looked at it. Called strike 3. Wada with his first punch out. And after an inning, we're scoreless.
Corner, things are heating up at Wrigley Field. Make your plans now to catch a game at the friendly confines. The Cubs are back home starting Thursday, June 11th. A 6-game homestand featuring the Reds and the Indians. Get your tickets at Cubs.com.
Here's Miguel Montero batting cleanup. David Ross grabbed 3 consecutive starts going into tonight, and Joe Madden has stuck to his guns on keeping Miguel fresh, or as Joe called it, frisky. And he has struggled lately. He's 4 for his last 41. By the way, David Ross making 3 straight starts, the catcher position, first time he's done that in 3 seasons.
Might have to file a grievance.
Sit me or trade me.
Well, he has to feel awfully good about his performance behind the plate last night. Not just the pickoff, but he gunned down a couple of would-be base stealers as well.
I saw him earlier today, and he said that was just tremendous last night. And he said, yeah, we pitched well.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Three and two on Montero.
Well, Montero's been in this funk now for a couple of weeks, trusting a little bit, striking out a lot, not taking his walks. It's just the natural cycles of baseball. Guys run hot and cold. I'll always tell you, if I can just find a way to minimize those cold stretches. Think about a guy like Montero. He's been in the league a few years now, so less likely to panic than a young guy would. Been a fair bit of panic in that little emergency swing right there. Roark's got a good fastball, a little kind of a quick short arm delivery too. I think there's some deception there. Been getting a lot more ground balls this year than he did last year. That may be because he's relying more on his two-seam fastball.
Taylor comes in, and an easy play for the out. Now Junior Lake, he's had an eventful week, hasn't he?
He's been in the middle of some things.
First home run of the season, got the Marlins upset, took a bases loaded walk. That was the game-winning RBI last night in the first inning. He stole third. By the way, that was a called play by the bench. Do or die play in right. Came up a little bit short. He has been must-see TV. That one almost hit him.
Yeah, we thought this was pretty unorthodox, and it is unorthodox, but it worked. A two-out steal of third with the pitcher hitting. But Joe had plans beyond that steal of third right there. It just never developed.
Roark with a 1-2, and he got him. Swinging was strike three.
Long swing here by Junior after that elevated fastball at 95 miles an hour. Probably going to have to shorten that stroke a little bit to get to that pitch.
Castro takes strike one, 0 for 4 in the opener. Not a whole lot going on for these two offenses here as of late.
You saw Roark attack Starlin with that first pitch fastball right through the heart of the strike zone, and that's been part of the problem for Starlin this year. He just has not been getting to fastballs.
Fortunately, the Cubs have pitched well in a lot of those games. Yeah, you'd like to score more than 2.5 per. As Rendon will throw out Castro to end the inning. 6 up, 6 down for Roark to start it. Stanley Cup final coverage in town starting at 5:30 with Blackhawks pregame live. Then flip to CSN Plus right after the action for interviews, highlights, and much more on Blackhawks post-game live. Stanley Cup final game 2 coverage starts tomorrow at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. It's rooftop viewing, I guess. Yeah, you can see in here a little bit.
A lot of development going on around here. A lot of new buildings have popped up over the last 3 or 4 years. Big project behind us. Almost did not play in the ball game last night. Hit a big home run in the series in Chicago, a game winner. It was in the WADA start. He came off of Justin Grimm.
Ramos hitting 5th, dealing with a sore thumb. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Desmond next, then Espinosa, the second baseman. You know, Escobar left early last night. He has a sore wrist. So Rendon over at third, Espinosa getting the start at second. Toward right and past a diving Addison Russell. That's the first hit for either team.
Like it was in on Ramos a little bit, and he just fought it off the other way. Nice effort by Russell. Well, he made a sparkling play last night going the other way. Putting together a pretty good highlight reel of plays up the middle. Desmond, like Castro, offense first shortstop, but he's not having a good year with the bat. Silver Slugger winner each of the last 3 seasons. Last year, Desmond and Castro ranked 2-3 in the National League in OPS for shortstops. This year, they're 8th and 9th. We're just what, 1/3 of the way through the season. Plenty of time to right the ship.
Been a strange year for this Nationals offense. They've had some bad stretches. Got off to a bad start, and then for a little over a month, and there's no coincidence, right, that it was Bryce Harper. They got red hot.
Get on my back, boys, and let's go.
That's trouble into the left field corner for Desmond. Ramos racing toward third. He's going to be held there by Bob Henley. It's a double for Desmond, and the Nationals are in business second and third with nobody out.
Well, a little early crisis here for Wada. See if he can minimize the damage. He's got bottom of the order due up here, but Desmond puts a good swing on that one. Espinosa, a switch hitter, is hitting .355 as a right-handed batter this year. Joe's checking the matrix.
Espinosa, switch hitter, batting right-handed, takes ball 1 in the dirt. Second and third with no outs.
Dr. K needs a punch out here. Middle infielders back, corner guys pretty much even with the bag. Rizzo's even, Bryant maybe a step behind.
So we showed you the offensive numbers for the Cubs the last 10, like 2.5 runs per game. They won 2-1 last night. They've lost 7-3 in Miami, 5-2, 1-5-1, 2-1, 8-4, but 3-0, 3-2, 2-1, 4-3. And most of those games are pitching has either won the game for them or kept them in it. And so we don't know how tonight is going to play out. We're only in the second inning. This could be a 15-4 ball game. The Cubs could win. They could get blown out. It could be a 1-0 game. But as you said, the trend has been that this could be a big inning, that you don't want to give up more than a couple because of the way things have gone offensively. I suppose it puts a little more pressure on a starting pitcher, but the starters have been pretty good.
Yeah, and I think, we talk a lot about that. When a team's not scoring, it puts pressure on pitchers. When pitchers giving it up, it puts pressure on hitters. The bottom line is when you play at this level, there's a lot of pressure every day. And I don't think guys go out there thinking that. I think that's more of a reaction, a post-game comment in the clubhouse, or man, I knew I had to hold the other guys down because my guys are having a hard time scoring runs. And the reality is, as a pitcher, you're going out there trying to hold them down every single time you take the ball, regardless of how your hitters are doing. He's been really good at it.
He will pitch tomorrow. Big swing by Espinosa. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See where Montero wants to go to try to get this punch out of Espinosa. Looks like elevated fastball.
Driven deep to left. Way back. Coughlin will watch it fly over the bullpen. That is a 3-run shot for Danny Espinosa.
Well, 2.5's not going to get it done tonight. Espinosa with his 7th home run on a 2-2 fastball. You saw Montero ask for that pitch up. He motioned with his hand, let's go way upstairs, and then Wada just didn't get it there. Trying to go up above the hands, and it was about thigh high. And goodbye for Espinosa. There's your Ford home run replay, and an early hole for the Cubs to crawl out of.
And for Espinosa, he knows the deal. We don't know how serious the injury to Escobar is, but he's hitting over 300, and you get Anthony Rendon back. Somebody's got to sit. And to start the game last night, it was Espinosa. He's known more for his glove than his bat. But that will certainly help his cause.
Plan coming into the season was Escobar second, Rendon third. Rendon got hurt. Escobar took over. Espinosa did get a lot of playing time. And since Escobar had really settled in at third base, Rendon last night started at second.
Fly ball to right. And Lake makes the grab. So that's out number 1, and here is Tanner Roark. 2 for 7 on the year, 165 for his career. Lake again.
Budweiser Bleacher Fridays continue June 12th as the Cubs go country. Fans will enjoy country music hits played before and during the game. All Budweiser Bleacher fans 21 and older will receive a country cap, pictured there. Presented by Budweiser, special entertainment in the bleachers includes live music, additional giveaways, photo ops, and fun games. The party will continue with some post-game fun at a bar in Wrigleyville. For tickets, visit Cubs.com. Might be pitching horseshoes out there.
Strike called on Span. Span.
I don't like Span.
Slicing drive caught by Coughlin. So Espinosa with a 3-run homer, and the Nationals have the early lead. T-Mobile game changer, nail a couple of base stealers, and then game-ending pickoff at first base, something that I don't think I'd ever seen before to end the game.
Big guy, but he's really quick feet there, good strong throw, and now the primal scream. That might have been the best part. Fun to watch Mike Borzello. He was so excited for Ross after the game. And Mike has such a great relationship with the catchers.
There's Coughlin, 1 ball, no strikes. So a 3-0 hole. Cubs are going to have to get those bats to heat up. Scoop by Zimmerman. To the bag unassisted.
Now Roark making his 3rd start, so when you look at the numbers, you have to consider the fact that most of the time he was pitching out in the bullpen, but he has not been striking out a lot of guys this year. I'm guessing that's just because that bullpen role, he's been coming out throwing more 2-seamers on the attack, trying to make early contact. If he stays in the rotation, you're going to see that strikeout rate go up significantly. But he is aggressive. He's allowed 5 home runs, had allowed 5 home runs in 31 and a third innings coming in. All solo shots.
There's Wada. Finally read that Jason Stark piece on Joe Madden batting the pitcher 8th. We had a chance to follow up with Joe today. Joe's first answer in the article about why he hits the pitcher 8th. I like it. He did expand on those thoughts a little bit. couple of models Stark referenced in the piece using John Lester as the number 8 hitter. One had the Cubs projected to score 45 more runs with Lester batting 8th than 9th. The other one had the Cubs scoring 8 fewer runs. So there doesn't seem to be a consensus quite yet about how it would work. But if you talk to Joe, it makes sense.
Yeah, he has a lot of reasons for it. He likes the fact that he's got a legitimate hitter in the 9 hole, so that as the lineup turns over, there's a chance for more RBI opportunities for Rizzo and Bryant batting 2nd and 3rd.
And one big thing that he wanted to stress is this guy, 21-year-old Addison Russell, 2nd youngest player currently in the National League. Joe thinks hitting him 9th right now is aiding his development. We know Russell didn't start the season with the big league club, and Joe was batting the pitcher 8th at that time as well, but that's the side benefit in his opinion.
Yeah, when Tommy La Stella was healthy, La Stella 9th brought a real solid on-base presence to that spot. With Russell, it's more about getting pitches to hit in the 9 hole versus in the 8 hole. If he's batting 8th in front of the pitcher, there are going to be a lot of instances where they tiptoe around and pitch around him and force him to go out of the zone to try to get something done.
I will tell you this. If you're sitting at home and you've been against this, you have every right to your opinion. I am going to tell you this. Joe has the better math than you do. He has the better math when it comes to this stuff than we do in the booth. He told us some stuff today about different spots in the lineup when they come up. What was the line about the number 3 hitter? The 3 hitter makes the 3rd out. What was the
the 3rd hitter hits, the 3-hole hitter hits with 2 outs and nobody on,
more than anybody else,
the cleanup hitter or whatever.
Yeah, because of that first inning.
No, he didn't. The other point he made was that the pitcher on average gets a little over 3 plate appearances per game. A lot of times it's 2 plate appearances a game. So it's not like you're dealing with this for the whole game. And he likes the idea of being able to hit for that pitcher a little bit earlier.
Right. And he said if my pitcher bats 3 or 4 times, I might have a 5-1 lead.
Right. And that's the other thing you said. Well, what if the pitcher gets 4 at bats? Then you're really not worried that much about your lineup construction because your pitcher is shutting the other club down in all likelihood.
The other thing to note is the Cubs have an analytics department, and he calls them the geeks, the nerds, whatever you want to use, and they haven't told him not to do it. So it's 3-0 Washington in the 3rd. And long on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvoog.com. Nationwide is on your side. We'll get the scoop from P. Mooney tomorrow afternoon. We've got an afternoon game here. We hope to stave off the rain. It'll be an 11 o'clock Chicago time start.
Sounds like brunch and baseball to me. Breakfast at Washington.
The 0-1 Zimmerman fouls it back. Got a tweet from Brian. Says, is it possible hitters can be too patient, taking early strikes and having to hit a pitcher's pitch? Lots of strikeouts and weak grounders. Brian, I would say the answer is absolutely. And even the most patient hitters will occasionally go up there and just let it fly on the first pitch.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's the key. You don't want to be too predictable.
Zimmerman with not only his first hit tonight, his first hit against the Cubs this season after starting 0 for 15.
I think a hitter wants to go up there, hunt strikes, look for a pitch in a certain location early, hope to get it, and go to work from there. Pitcher's painting the corners, you don't want to attack early, because if you get into a hitter's count, then you can sit on that cookie. But if the pitcher's pumping fastballs over the heart of the plate to get the jump on the hitters, then you have to make an adjustment and become a little more aggressive.
Here's Harper. I always like to point out interesting articles that we run into now and again. Ben Lindbergh, Grantland.com, with a piece today about Harper's month of May and asking the question, did he have the hottest streak of all time? Driven deep to right. Way back, off the wall, and now Lake's got to chase it down. Zimmerman is going to be stopped at third. Harper halfway between second and third, so they've got him hung up, and he's not even going to stay in a rundown.
Yeah, he's getting booed right now, and deservedly so.
Wow, I'll tell you what. I don't know if I've ever seen a runner give up on a play with the defender having the ball about 50 feet away from him.
Yeah, well, it was, and he cast a look in Zimmerman's direction, and Bob Henley, the third base coach, as if to say, this is on you guys. Wow. As if to say, you should have sent Zimmerman. This isn't my fault. The bottom line is, when the ball's behind you in right field, you've got to pick up your third base coach.
Boy, I don't know about that.
Because if nothing else, you want to force Rizzo to make a throw and just hope. The likelihood that anything good happens for you there is very remote.
Infield in against Rendon. It's one thing to be upset at your teammate. I think you have every right to be upset.
That skin tone looks a little redder than it was when we had the shot of him earlier. That man is steaming right now.
Man, you show your ire in the middle of a play. Backhanded by Bryan, and Zimmerman's got a hold. That will be a topic of conversation after the game tonight for sure.
The patented helmet toss. He's off and running. And right about here, he's like, uh-oh. Thought about doing something and then just said, nah, never mind. Make a dash back towards second, force Rizzo to make a throw in that direction. Maybe Zimmerman tries to race home. I mean, again, highly unlikely anything good happens.
Lake. Oh, did he catch it? He did. I didn't think he had a prayer. He just robbed a run. Ramos thought he had a base hit to make it 4-0. Junior Lake laying out. What a play. Last night he took a chance. It did not work. Our Xfinity speed replay or high-speed action.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. A better route this time, and a better time too, with 2 outs and a man on third base to take a gamble and leave your feet. That was not the case in the ball game last night. Probably an ill-advised dive last night. A sparkling play.
It was.
Junior Lake. Very nice. How come he's not leading off the inning?
Yeah,
breaking the rules.
That always happens, right? Shallow left center. Desmond is out and he cradles it. Nice catch by Desmond.
Now, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tanner Roark just continues to sail along here. 10 up, 10 down. 4 punch outs. Not a lot of solid contact yet, if any. Cubs have really hit the ball hard. And all tonight off Roark.
So the Cubs down 3-0, trying to get their first hit. How about that? Deep to right, gone off the facing of that second deck for Anthony Rizzo. They're on the board. Number 10 for Rizzo.
I guess that would qualify as hard contact. A laser beam home run by Anthony Rizzo. His 10. Hey, he's a 10 and 10 man now. 10 long ones. He's got 10 steals. He continues to do it all. Well, this is your tweeter earlier asking about does it make sense to be more aggressive, and Rizzo shows you, yeah. Roark has been aggressive. Rizzo ready. There's your forward home run replay, and comes down a couple now.
All 1 to Bryant. Called strike 3 in the first inning. That ball line deep to left, off the top of the wall. Bryant hustling towards second. He's got to hurry. He's out. Michael Taylor nailed it. Played the carom, threw him out, and Espinosa and Bryant both getting up very cautiously. I don't know if Espinosa got spiked. But it was a headfirst slide.
Maybe a hand or wrist as he dove back to apply that tag. Man, that was a rocket by Bryant. He hit the ball off the wall. You're thinking 2 bases when you run as fast as Bryant does. But his problem is he hit the ball so hard, it got out there in no time. Taylor right there to handle the carom.
He got kicked. It looked like the right leg or foot of Bryant came over the top of Espinosa right there. Maybe got him in the side. Ooh. Are you looking to see if he was safe?
Joe Madden's out there. They might take a look at this one. It looked like his left wrist got crumpled underneath him too. I think that's what they were paying attention to out there with the trainer. The very first look we had, I can't tell there exactly when the tag is applied.
Joe has challenged the call on the field.
Well, that was, one of the big stories in the game last night was the whole challenge system when there was a play at second base that was confirmed that we thought would be overturned. I don't know that he gets him until up above the knee there.
Yeah,
this might be the best look here.
I'm going with safe, and then watch the wrist turn over there for Espinosa. Yep, that's what it looked like happened. The left wrist. Hey, Chris, if you can hear us, Take your index finger and just press that decal back on your helmet. Just the bottom part of the C there. Just
kind of
Chris, can you hear us?
Put a little super glue or something. I didn't see Chris going down the line. A lot of times that's where you lose the double when you're going down, especially when you hit a ball that hard. You take a little peek, see if it's going to fly out of the ballpark. Maybe don't completely sell out going down the first baseline. That is not his nature. He has been a very aggressive, very smart base runner.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice job, Chris. Well, when in doubt, we go with whatever the opposite of what we feel the call will be. That's how it's gone this year. Paul stands.
That's a CS if you're scoring at home.
Well, I do S, and I'll tell you why. CS,
caught stealing,
for me is caught stealing. Yeah. I do O for overturned.
I usually don't do anything
for confirmed. I'm starting to do it now because I don't want to lose track.
Miguel Montero. Not pleased with the call by Rob Drake. So this is interesting. Roark has now allowed 10 runs this year. He's given up 6 solo home runs. Batting average against him with runners in scoring position is just 111.
Two on the way. Breaking ball. Tapped foul. Tomahawk foul to left. Got a big crowd tonight, 35 plus last night. We had a lot of rain that delayed the start. Gorgeous night here, 72 degrees as we got started.
There's a little humidity in the air here tonight. Wind is not a factor. It's barely blowing. A mild zephyr.
Got to come up with a name for that maneuver. When you try to buy a strike, seems like Montero's really good at it. Just kind of throws his rear end out. You would think a catcher would know what an umpire looks at, right? To get strikes, or if you're a hitter, to get a non-strike.
You know, that little jackknife move the guys do to on a ball that's inside.
Tricks of the trade. Shifting, so it's Desmond, the shortstop, on the other side of the bag to get Montero. Rizzo with the Cubs' first hit of the night and a line shot homer. 3-1 in the fourth. stage on CSN. The Fire will go head-to-head with Orlando City. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. Anthony Rizzo with a home run. The Cubs trail by 2. Danny Espinosa with a 3-run homer, supplying the Nationals runs to this point. He'll hit second here in the 4th behind Ian Desmond.
So far tonight, Wada has not had the command and the finish on his pitches that he had through his first 3 starts. We'll see if he's able to kind of find it here.
Ground ball base hit. Desmond is 2 for 2. We've done the Desmond 2-2 thing before. In case you're wondering.
Desmond 2 for 2. Desmond 2-2. Desmond's got a barrel in the marketplace. Desmond's got a base hit up the middle. Wada's still searching. See, if I were Desmond, that would be my walk-up song. Obladi, Obladi.
That's good. I like it.
The whole stadium singing along. They did the thing today too. We talked about it in advance of this series, how their marketing people are playing like soft pop music when the other team takes BP. Love songs and such, as if to take the bite out of them. Kind of fun.
Did you notice the Cubs batting practice music today?
I did. Yeah. I was walking around and I heard because they're pumping it all through the stadium. It escapes me what particular song stuck in my head, but it was an old like 70s love song.
Outside on a fastball at 88. 2 balls and a strike.
I haven't seen many changeups from Wada yet tonight. It's a pretty good pitch for him.
All fastballs so far in this at bat. 34 years old, 5'11", 180. Fair ball rolled into the left field corner. Desmond to third. Desmond to the plate, and the ball is stuck under the padding, so Coghlan put his hands up. As Espinosa ended up scoring as well, but they may have to all go, or both go back. So it's going to be second and third.
And this was a changeup, and instead of fading away from Espinosa, it kind of drifted down and into him. That's a dangerous pitch. And put a real good swing on it. Coghlan initially started to make a play on it, then said, no, I'm not going to get caught doing that. Williams wants to know why his guy can't come around and score.
I believe the ground rule part of it means second and third. I think the fan interference one is where they can place the runners where they want to or where they think they should have been. Does that sound right?
That's my understanding, yes.
Well, in the meantime, we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on CASCOM in Virginia, Illinois. Michael Taylor will step in second and third, nobody out. Bottom of the order doing the damage for the Nationals. In the second and now again here in the 4th, and the infield comes in.
Down a couple of runs already. Madden willing to gamble here with the infield in.
the stretch. Line shot right field late, makes a running grab. Both runners will tag. Desmond to the plate, Espinosa to third, sac fly, Michael Taylor, and it's 4-1.
4-1, Iwata giving no signs of settling in here either, so shaping up to be a short night for him. Roark into bat with a man on third. Infield will stay in.
Pitch on Roark is on the outside corner. Outside that time. They've got 2-0 on the board. I think it's 1-1. It is. Yep. So first pitch was a strike. So it is 1-1 on Roark. Here it is. Fair ball knocked out. Bryant can't locate it. The only good news there is Espinosa did not score. He held at third. That's a base hit for Roark.
Appeared to have some topspin on it, but if Bryant gloves that ball cleanly, he's going to be able to make the play on Roark. Ruled it a base hit.
Double play depth up the middle. Corner men pulled in. Span takes ball one. 4-1 Washington here in the fourth. Season series tied at 2 apiece.
Somebody's starting to toss in the Cubs bullpen.
Missed again. Former National Edwin Jackson. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Here comes Espinosa. It's 5-1.
Fairly relentless attack here for the Nationals tonight. Last inning they went single, double. Harper gets caught between second and third, so Iwata got a break there. Ramos hit a line drive to right field that Lake made a spectacular play on. Otherwise, that would have done damage in the third as well. 3 runs in the second, a couple more here in this inning. No signs of letting up.
Chris Bosio out to the mound.
Bosio asking, are you okay? Didn't have the life on his pitches here tonight. Saturday, June 13th, the Cubs play the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is at 6:15, and you're going to want to be there early. The first 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Joe Madden debut bobblehead presented by Pepsi. The professor at the podium for
For details, visit thecubs.com.
Washington now has 9 hits. Pitch to Ryan Zimmerman. Ball 1. Zimmerman was the Nationals' first draft pick. They moved from Montreal 2005. He is the Nationals' all-time leader over the last decade in runs, hits, doubles, homers, RBIs, and games played. Over 1,200 in the Nationals uniform. Ground ball, diving stop. Castro throw to second. Out is Span. Nicely done. 2 down.
Yeah, spectacular play by Castro. We've seen him make a lot of plays up the middle. He's made a couple really good ones in this series over in Miami. Made a couple great plays out behind second base. This time he ranges towards the hole to take away a base hit from Zimmerman. Snags it with the end of his glove, quickly into throwing position.
They will intentionally walk Harper to get to Rendon, which would lead us to believe that it'll be Edwin Jackson to face him. Well, I should say lead me to believe. I don't want to speak for you.
I'm with you.
You don't have to be with me. I know you're with me in general. I just mean on this particular topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is it. Yeah. Wada just never really got anything going here tonight. Stuff has been flat and very hittable. Still a lot of ball yet to be played. So absolutely, you're going to bring a right-hander in here to face Rendon, and hopefully he can bail Wada out.
So that will be it for the starter tonight. And it's a Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? Seasonings call to the pen, and it is Edwin Jackson who will come in to face one of his former teams.
Edwin, he's been busier of late, has not been used a lot this year, but this is the third outing for him in the last 4 ball games. 2-1 with a 2.93 ERA for Edwin. 15 in the third innings of work. He's allowed 15 hits, walked 7, punched out 11. League hits 250 against him.
5-1, and Edwin's job is try to limit the damage here. Get out of this thing with no more runs scored.
Right now, down 4 in the fourth. I don't know. Put a percentage on it for the Cubs coming back. 15?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something like that.
Our AT&T Ubers multi-view.
Rendon clears the bases here with a double. It goes down to about 2%.
Strike called. So, Baseball Reference, I'm looking back. If you look at their box score, the play-by-play, it gives you that number. Wednesday night in Miami, the Cubs were down 4-0. The top of the fourth inning, and their winning percentage was 2.
Really?
That doesn't seem right, does it?
No. It'll work
Maybe
right
lower
there.
than 15. Bryant makes a catch, and that will end the inning. Take the ball. Cubs and Nationals in Game 3 of this weekend series. Grab your breakfast. Tune in to Cubs pregame live, presented by Fields Auto, starting at 10:30 in the a.m. right here on CSN Chicago. Actually, the Cubs' chances of winning were about 10% when they were down 4 runs in the fourth inning on Wednesday, so I'd say that's probably roughly what their winning percentage would be here in this particular situation.
Time to change the math.
Yep.
Get a couple here, and all of a sudden things are looking rosy again. Roark, typically aggressive, will probably be even more so here with his 4-run lead.
Well, one of my favorite sports lines, my good friend Steve the Homer True, I started with him back in Milwaukee. I don't know if he took it from somebody else or if it was his own line. But regarding sports, you should make it into a t-shirt. Anything can happen. ... But it usually doesn't. It almost has a Yogi feel to it.
And the point is it's baseball.
Yeah, really anything can happen. Usually doesn't, but on the rare occasion it does.
And that's why it makes the game interesting. We talk about all these stats and projections, and based on the back of the guy's bubblegum card, that's what he's going to do year in and year out. And all the sophisticated sabermetrics now, where you can project what
players and teams are likely to do, but every year there are surprises, and that's what makes it really interesting.
Lake with a base hit. Good start.
Junior with a willingness to shorten up this time. Punch that breaking ball the other way. Normally not a running situation down 4, but Lake has speed. Starlin hits the ball on the ground a lot. Joe Madden might try to get Lake to go here. Starlin has bounced into 9 double plays this year. Tied with Ryan Zimmerman, just behind Simmons and McGee, who have each bounced into 12. Matt Williams thinks it's worth keeping an eye on Lake. Those throwovers called from the dugout typically. All managers now pretty much control the running game, when to throw over, when to pitch out.
I mentioned Jason Hamill starting tomorrow. The Nationals have been to be determined. It looks like it's going to be Joe Ross to make his major league debut. He is a younger brother of Tyson Ross, who pitches for the San Diego Padres. 22 years old, 6'4", 205. And he would be making the jump from Double-A. 9 starts in the Eastern League so far. Lake on his way to second as Castro bounces out. And one of the coolest bits of info I've seen this week. The switch pitcher, Pat Venditti. We saw him a few times in spring training against the Cubs. He's coming to the big leagues. He can throw lefty, he can throw righty.
Yeah, and first ambidextrous pitcher since 1995. Is that referring to, was it Greg Harris?
Must be, yeah.
But Greg Harris was kind of a novelty. I think he did it maybe once in a game, but this is what this guy does.
My dream scenario would be a left-handed throwing catcher as his battery mate, but
I wonder if when he's pitching left-handed, if he has a different personality, if he's really quirky and offbeat, and when he's right-handed, he's just very straight-laced.
Yeah, so he has to declare before the at-bat whether he's going to throw lefty or righty.
Yeah, because that would be a problem with a switch hitter. They'd just be going back and forth trying to gain the advantage.
Although I heard a suggestion today as we were coming over to the ballpark, which I liked. Travis Wood getting ready. Because it's so rare and unique in the fact that he has accomplished this feat, it would seem more fair that the batter would have to declare. Just because it's cool. That's not how it works.
I think they should do rock, scissors, paper for it. As the batter comes up, and he's just going in 1, 2, 3, shoot. I win. Okay.
How about in his?
You have to declare.
Right. You like hockey?
Do it like you do on the playground.
His home ballpark, he gets the final choice. And on the road, he doesn't.
Throw the bat up and do the hand over hand thing and the 2-finger job. And does anybody do that anymore? One of the kids out there, they know what I'm talking about when you have to pick sides and you threw the bat in the air and you caught it and you moved my hand over hand.
tweet us. Let us know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if there's no room left on the bat, you lose, right?
Yeah. And then you put your thumb on top, and there's some rules you had to spin it. Some guys played by that rule. You had to be able to spin the bat around.
That is deep and foul. The bat of Coughlin.
Well, you don't want to waste opportunities here. Try to chip away. Got a man in scoring position.
Coughlin pops it up. It'll be the shortstop, Desmond. Well, out number 2. Jake Arrieta. No walks, 8 strikeouts in his 6 innings.
Rather Jake-ish, typical Jake outing. Lowered his ERA to just a little over 3.04. Now he's picked up his 5th win last night. He's now 5-4. Scouting report review on Baxter.
The reaction I'm getting is, yeah, the bat.
Everybody's good on that.
They still do that.
Good.
Yeah. Baxter fouls.
I say good, like the moral fiber of our society is going to be damaged because kids aren't tossing the bat in the air to decide who gets first pick on the playground. Baxter's had some good swings here in recent at-bats.
Team effort.
Good work. And he said, next time you got to hang on to me when I go over.
Will Smith had his 8-game suspension for the foreign substance reduced to 6. Brian Mattis had his 8-game suspension upheld.
I don't remember the Mattis situation. Why? I wonder why. There obviously had to be a little different circumstance there.
I remember Will Smith was adamant that he had forgotten to wipe it off, right, when he came out of the pen.
That usually doesn't hold up in a court of law.
Right. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will end the inning. Not much going right for the Cubs tonight, but those two fans are happy with their teamwork. pretty neat deal going on. The Myrtle Beach Pelicans, Cubs' new High A affiliate, honoring the late Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, this weekend. And they're going to wear those uniforms. EB, Ernie's initials, and Let's Play 2 on the front. So they got a doubleheader tonight. Ernie Banks tribute night. And they're going to auction off the uniforms during the course of the season. Good stuff. Here's Travis Wood.
Yeah, hopefully good stuff from Travis Wood here as the Cubs look to come back in this ball game. Jackson came in, got Rendon with the bases loaded, did his piece. Now it falls to Travis Wood, who's 2-2 with a 5.44 ERA. You look at his numbers, composite numbers from his time in the rotation and now in the bullpen. And he's got Ramos, Desmond, Espinosa, all these guys swinging the bat well tonight.
Ball one to Ramos. Another National League catcher, Devin Mesoraco, is going to learn to play left field. He's been bothered by a sore left hip, but it only bothers him when he's in a crouching position. It's not an issue when he bats or when he runs.
Yeah, he's got a spur, and if you were going to try to remain behind the plate, he would have to have surgery and be out about 4 months. So I think the plan is see if he can play left field, get him through this season, then do the surgery, come back and catch. And I guess ultimately, if it doesn't get any better, he might make a full-time transition to the outfield.
Well, that is understandable as Ramos grounds out because Mesoraco is a really good offensive player.
And he's a good athlete. He could probably figure out left field. He runs pretty well. He doesn't look like a guy who should move that well, but he does run pretty well. Obviously, if he can stay behind the plate, there's a lot of value to have that kind of offensive ability behind the plate.
Marlon Byrd suffered a broken wrist recently, so there's a spot in left if Mesoraco can play adequate defense, so he's going to work with Billy Hatcher.
The field's been a bit of a black hole for the Reds in recent years.
It really has. They have not really been able to find that guy. I guess Ryan Ludwig might have been the last guy who was really productive in that particular spot. Two and one. Two balls, two strikes. Desmond with a double, a single, and has scored twice. Full count.
Travis is really trying to work hard to get on top of that fastball, get a little sink down and away. An all-star a couple of years ago. Rough year last year. Now he's lost his spot in the rotation.
Swing and a miss, strike three.
You go through something like that, you start to think about changing the game plan a little bit. Cubs destinations travel packages include great tickets, hotel accommodations, tours of the ballpark, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. For more information, visit Cubs.com/travel.
So I was wondering about Ryan Ludwig. He has not played this year. He was released by the Texas Rangers in late March. I think I have read anywhere, but I can remember that he retired. He's just kind of waiting to see if somebody else wants to sign him.
Maybe. Yeah. Espinosa's been the man of the match for the Nationals here tonight. 3-run jack off of Wada.
I got the scoring started. And doubled and scored his next time up.
Good question from Jim on Twitter. Why is a pitch in the dirt thrown out of play, but a ground out is left in play? Yeah, you're right.
A lot of times it is. And sometimes infielders will throw the ball out of play.
Who was that the other day doing that?
Somebody was doing it
third
every
baseman
time. Yeah.
Somebody, and you were getting aggravated.
He was when the Mets were in town.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Look at that old style glove, huh?
Throwback uni.
Well, and then, you know, a pitch thrown directly into the dirt is definitely going to have a scuff mark on it. A ground ball that hits the grass first is not guaranteed to have a scuff mark on it. A lot of hitters, when they come up to hit after the ball has been put in play, will tell the umpire, hey, check that ball, would you?
Would a pitcher ever strategically make a pickoff throw to first in the dirt? Because if he had a really good first baseman, he could. Wouldn't want to take a chance of throwing it away, though. There's a lot of nuance to changing the ball and such, but it seems to be a given in the long history of this game that a little bit of cheating is allowed if you do it correctly. It's strange to say, but it's true. 5-1 Washington.
Bleachers will have a new look and feel with additional amenities and more group spaces. Tickets are on sale now. Visit Cubs.com/bleachers to buy tickets and learn more about the new spaces and concessions as they become available over the next few months.
Swing and a miss by Addison Russell. Tanner Roark in command tonight. He beat the Cubs last week at Wrigley. Strasburg and Pfister are on the DL, and that put Roark back in their rotation. He won 15 games last year, but he got bumped after they signed Max Scherzer.
It's a pretty good sixth man. Able to pull a 15-game winner with a
sub-3 ERA out of your bullpen and insert him into the rotation.
Since he made his major league debut on August 7th of 2013, his .257 ERA is the 4th best in baseball. Diving stop. Anthony Rendon out at first. What a play by Rendon.
All phases of the game, the Nationals getting it done tonight. Hitting, pitching, and now flashing a little leather. Tough break for Russell. Good swing, good solid contact, but he's 0 for 2 now.
Base hit, Dexter Fowler.
Cubs down 4. Their largest come from behind win this year was on May 14th against the Mets, and they trailed by 4 in that ball game.
Line shot homer for Rizzo in the 4th. That was the Cubs' first hit. 3 since. Last night was kind of a crummy night weather-wise, but it has turned around. It's just absolutely beautiful tonight.
Roark pitching carefully to Rizzo here. He knows that Rizzo can really change the feel of this game with one swing, so he's trying to stay away from his power. But there's a guy on deck that can change the math in a hurry too. So that's what puts Roark in a little bit of a bind here with Fowler on first, Rizzo batting, and Bryant to follow. It's a huge inning for Roark.
Yeah, it's interesting. So he hits a home run his last at bat. His home run percentage is about 4. It's well above major league average. That means 4 out of every 100 plate appearances he hits a home run. It's a pretty small chance, but a lot of pitchers will be careful in this spot, which can create more problems if you walk them. So when we say a home run threat, we're not talking about guys who hit home runs, 1 out of every 3 trips to the plate. So Barry,
what's the all-time?
Yeah, I'm looking at Barry Bonds.
That ratio.
Here he hit 73. In 2001, his home run percentage was 11%. Fly ball deep to center, way back. That home run percentage goes up for Anthony Rizzo. 5-3 now. You know what his home run percentage is tonight? 67.
Yeah, and just like that, we have a brand new ball game. Big part of the yard right there. Elevated fastball has been a good weapon for Roark. Not many have been able to get on top of it and do anything with it. Rizzo got it. That's the Ford home run replay. Number 11 for Rizzo. Action starts in the Nationals bullpen.
It has been a pure joy to watch Anthony Rizzo in the batter's box this year.
All-time career record at bats per home run. Mark McGwire, 10.6. Babe Ruth, he homered about every 11 3/4 at bats.
This plate appearances, key difference. Someone responded about Barry Bonds. Well, he had all those walks. Counts the walks too.
Well, this I'm looking at bats.
Oh, you have at bats.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Among active players, Ryan Howard with the best at-bat to home run ratio. Better than A-Rod. That surprises me a little bit. Better than Pujols.
A-Rod, by the way, passed Bonds on the all-time RBI list. And RBI started to get counted, what, 1920, or at least officially?
Sounds right.
So he trails Hank Aaron. He's 3 away from 2,000. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But here's the thing, so he gives up the 2-run homer to Rizzo. And he walked Rizzo, he might have given up a 3-run homer to Bryant.
Yeah, and I said at the time he's going to try to pitch away from Rizzo's power. That's easier said than done because Rizzo covers everything so well because he's right up on top of the plate.
Obviously, the situation, what the score is, that'll dictate how a pitcher feels about allowing a home run. I would imagine you walk people and you give up home runs. That feels a lot worse than kind of challenging a guy, and if he hits it out, you go, okay, well, next.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing you don't want to do when you have a lead is start walking people.
Montero deep to center. Span to the track. It is gone. They're within a run. 5-4.
Wow. Montero had been in a prolonged funk. Maybe this will shake him out of it. He goes straight away center field. 3 long balls for the Cubs tonight. Here's a Ford home run to replay yet again. Boy, that's lift and separate. Uppercut swing. Got a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, a couple of innings ago we were saying, Cubs' chances of winning about maybe 10, 11%. Well, it's gone up quite a bit here these last couple of innings. It is a Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen in the 6th. So Weber's sauces and seasonings called to the pen, and here is Aaron Barrett.
Hard-throwing right-hander. We've seen him 2 or 3 different times now. He worked in the ball game last night. 3-1 with a .474 earned run average. Got a good strikeout rate. 26 strikeouts in 19 innings against just 5 walks. 2 and 4 seam fastball, slider, and once in a while a changeup.
Got the final 5 outs for the Nationals last night. 2 strikeouts and no hits. And a swinging strike on Lake. Miguel Montero back in the lineup.
Feeling frisky.
Announcing his return, his frisky return with a home run. The 0-1 is a strike, 0-2. He held, according to Joe West.
Like a strikeout victim first time up, then punched a single to right field last inning. Whoop. I guess he wanted to change the eye level.
Hard hit ground ball to Rendon at third. Cubs are back in it. Rizzo with his second of the night, 2-run shot. 2 batters later, Montero with his 6th of the year. It's 5-4 in the 6th.
Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every week for your chance to own. What happened?
Okay. Welcome back. Travis Wood with a breaking ball high. Oh, I love live TV. Michael Taylor. It's a strike. Sac fly in the 4th for Taylor.
So we were talking about these win expectancy probability numbers you can find on these various websites. Do you know what the math is all about? How they've come to these conclusions? Or just historical data? Team leading by this much at this point in the game wins X number of times?
No, I don't know. Run expectancy, maybe all that stuff. It's a good question.
Because I'm looking here, and it's now it's Fangraphs, and it said that the Nationals still have a 75% chance to win this game. It feels like it should be more even than that.
With a 1-run lead.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one thing we could look at here's Tyler Moore. Is what their record is when they lead after 6.
I guess, when you just think about the game in general, how many comeback wins there are in the late innings, really aren't that many.
So, okay, I have leading after 7, 23-2.
So that suggests to me that the next inning is going to be a very important one for the Cubs.
Right.
As it almost always is.
Yep.
Just about everybody in baseball, even the bottom feeders, the team at the bottom of the standings, really good at closing teams out in the final couple of innings. So veteran Casey Janssen loosening in the Nationals bullpen.
1-2 hops to Castro. 2 outs.
Hey, visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every week for your chance to own one-of-a-kind game-used Cubs items. This week's auction includes the Chicago Whales 1915 throwback jerseys pictured there. They're sharp looking. You need to get one of those. Go to Cubs.com/authentics before Sunday at 8 p.m. to place your bid. The Cubs will donate proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
Denard Span is 1 for 3. Knocked in a run in the 4th. Chris Coughlin to end the inning. Travis Woods faced 6 and retired all of them. 5-4 Nationals. Test their sports trivia knowledge and try to win cash Sunday at 9:30 on CSN Chicago. Nationals are 23-4 when they have a lead after 6 innings. And here's right-hander Casey Janssen.
Jansen's only been in 5 ball games. He missed 40-plus days due to shoulder inflammation. A veteran of 8 big league seasons. This is first with the Nationals. Previously was a Blue Jay. Finesse guy, not going to overpower you. Fastball in the upper 80s. There's a lot of cutters. Got a good curve.
Starlin Castro takes ball one. Couple of cutters to start the at bat. Jansen kind of rocking side to side as he gets his sign. That's in there for a strike.
Toronto used him as a closer last year at 25 saves, 34 saves the year before.
Called strike three. That pitch was dropped by Ramos, but he still got the call.
Astro hates the Drake.
Starlin not too happy. Here's Coghlan. Jansen from Southern California, product of UCLA. Chris has now made 41 starts and has appeared in all 53 Cubs games this season. Actually, we were talking to Chris after the game last night. If you're a position player, you'd want to play on a Joe Madden team, wouldn't you? You're going to play a lot. You may not start every game, but he uses his bench pretty liberally.
Yeah. Big proponent of guys who can play all over the field. Obviously, you're always looking for those platoon advantage situations where you get left-handed at-bats against right-handed pitchers. And vice versa.
Travis Wood on deck.
It's not just left versus right or right versus left. Some guys are better against velocity. Other guys handle soft stuff better.
Fly ball to left. It's Taylor. With plenty of room.
The paperwork you see with Joe, he's got that matrix of outcomes basically, where he's got all his guys versus the other team's pitchers and what the likelihood of those confrontations will be. It's because there's some numerical formula. Not quite exactly all that goes into it, but for instance, if a guy's really good at can handle the high fastball, then he's probably going to start against a guy who likes to run four seamers up in the zone.
Well, it's similar to talking about the fan graphs and Baseball Reference, keeping track of the percentages, and that's what a lot of people in this game do. They look at what has occurred, what might happen in the future, make decisions based on those factors as Travis Wood keeps the inning alive. How about that? Pitcher batting for himself, and he's on.
That's old school right there, and that was a tough pitch. Breaking ball down below the knees. Whacked into left.
Joe's probably the only manager in the league, and Travis can hit, but who would leave his pitcher into bat in the 7th inning. A relief pitcher at that, trailing by a run.
Yeah, well, I think if he had a lefty slugging option on the bench, he might have gone to it. Travis is over there. Give me the green light. Let me go.
Yeah, he's got to have some pent-up energy over there since he hasn't pitched a ton since coming out of the rotation. plate appearance. Russell pops it up. Espinosa, shallow right, makes the grab. Stretch time here in D.C. 5-4 Washington.
Courtesy bike check, clear Clark and Addison. If you drive your car, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. That's their mascot. His name is Screech.
Should just stay out of bars in Wisconsin. He'll be all right. Here's Justin Grimm.
Wasn't Screech a character on a TV show?
Yeah. Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Zimmerman, Harper, Rendon. Fat part of the order due up here for the Nationals.
So Pat Venditti, I think, got into the game in Boston tonight, and Johnny just sent a note. Ryan Zimmerman fouls off. That both sides now, I don't know which version, was the intro music on the organ.
Nice.
Josh Cantor is the organist at Fenway Park, and he's a buddy of mine, and he posted on Facebook today, what song should I play when he comes in, and I suggested Both Sides Now. I don't know if that's the reason he picked it, but that's kind of the perfect song, right, for a switch pitcher. Nicely done. And scoreless inning. 2 strikes, Grimm to Zimmerman. Oakland trailing that game 4-2. He gave up a hit. 10 pitches. A scoreless 7th.
How many arms did he use?
2. Down ball to Addison Russell. That would have been ironic had he faced 3 straight righties or 3 straight lefties. Let's see.
But so that's when you would want to use them, right? When they're guys the other manager's not going to pinch hit for. So you could do like a Pedroia, Poppy kind of thing.
He faced Brock Holt, so he must have gone righty, lefty. Lefty. No, I'm sorry. He would have gone lefty righty. Because Holt's a left-handed hitter.
That'll be fun to check out the highlights later on. Well, and what could prove to be an important play in this game, especially if the Cubs come back here in the final couple innings, is Harper getting caught rounding second back in the third. Whacked that ball off the wall after Zimmerman had singled.
That could come into play.
Nationals ended up not scoring in that inning. If you had been aware and knew that they were stopping Zimmerman at third, they would have had second and third, nobody out.
Three balls, no strikes. It's interesting where Montero's setting up on the 3-0. Almost out off the outside corner. Didn't hit the target, got the call. Curve strike, 3-2.
Good tight breaking ball by Graham. You see Montero pull it back a little bit, hoping to influence Rob Drake, the home plate umpire.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs. So I want to finish. Earlier I was mentioning the Grantland piece by Ben Lindbergh. And it gets into some pretty gory math, but essentially based on the research Lindbergh did, there was a 50 plate appearance stretch. About 2 weeks Bryce Harper had, May 6th through the 19th, that you could argue was the hottest offensive streak ever. He then extends it out 60 plate appearances, 70, 80, 90, and he's, you know, among the leaders. But for those 50 plate appearances, he hit .575 with a .660 on base and slugged .1450. Yikes.
Yeah, had a 3 home run game.
He played in pitchers' parks in 10 of the 13 games during that streak. The Nationals went 10-3 during that streak. He hit 6 home runs during a 3-game stretch. The second best streak, Frank Howard in 1968. And he would have been playing for Washington, right?
I believe so.
The Senators. Base hit Rendon. Some repairs in the Nationals dugout.
Rendon on the DL for up until yesterday. He had a knee and then an oblique issue. At 100%, he is a threat to steal. Stole 17 bases last year.
Jason Worth out. They're saying maybe until August with a fractured wrist. Wave at strike 1 by Ramos. Bullpen's been good. Jackson Wood, now Grimm, as the Cubs try to come all the way back. 1 point trailing 5-1.
Almost homered off of Grimm back in Chicago back on the 25th. He has not homered since.
It was a game winner. Did you know that Wilson Ramos owns the longest hitting streak of the year? 19 games, April 24th through May 19th. If that holds up, that would be an excellent trivia question at the end of the season.
Who had the longest hitting streak last year in the major leagues? I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know. Base hit out into right center. Rendon on his way to third. That ball goes all the way to the wall. Relay throw to the plate, not in time. Wilson Ramos knocks in Rendon. It's 6-4.
Couple of big hits by the Nationals after 2 out. Rendon single. Ramos, boy, it didn't look like he put a whole lot into that swing, but still able to split the gap and get it all the way to the wall, allowing Rendon to come around and score a very important insurance run. Big forearms, that kid. It just looked like a flick of the wrist.
Desmond, fastball strike. Ball gets by and allows Ramos to get to third.
Sharp breaking ball by Grimm. Very difficult to keep that one in front of you if you're Montero.
Off the outside. 2-1. Ground ball to Castro, shuffling a bit to his glove side, and that'll end the inning. But a 2-out rally. Rendon single, Ramos with the double. It's 6-4.
that is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
So the Nationals added an insurance tally at 6-4 as we get into the 8th. But Anthony Rizzo will come up this inning, and he's already hit 2 home runs. Fowler, Rizzo, Bryant.
Yeah, this is the combination that got it done in the 6th. Fowler single, Rizzo home run, Montero home run.
Blake Trinan.
Trinan is a 4.28 ERA. He also has nasty stuff. He's been most impressive when we've seen him. Mid to upper 90s fastball, hard slider, good movement. Just chewed up right-handed hitters. Lefties have had a fair bit of success against him.
.98 for a strike. 6'5", 230. Blake Trinan. 15 appearances last year at this level. 7 of those were starts. Strictly out of the bullpen so far this year. He actually began his minor league career as a reliever in the low minor leagues with Oakland, and mostly has started in the minors since 2012. One ball and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Bounced foul. Past Brandon Hyde at first. Gary Jones across the way at third. He got him looking. Strike 3. Time now for a Binny's Beverage Depot toast of the game. And so far, and this night's not through just yet, Anthony Rizzo has connected twice.
Laser off the facade of the second deck, and then a massive towering home run straightaway center field with Fowler aboard in the 6th.
For Rizzo, it is his 8th career 2-homer game. He has never homered 3 times in a big league game. Fly ball deep to center. Span running after it. He caught it. He caught it. I don't know if it would have left the yard, but it would have been at least a double for Rizzo. But Denard Span took it away.
And you talk about a hitter being locked in. Just misses his 3rd home run. You'll get a good look here. You see Span break. And Rizzo takes him all the way to the wall.
Does not appear that it would have left the ballpark. That's a really nice play.
It's a huge play because otherwise Bryant strides to home plate representing the tying run.
Bryant 1 for 3. A single in the 4th. He tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out. Swung on and missed to end the inning. Still 6-4 Nationals. And it'll be Zach Rosscup here in the 8th inning. Cubs will have to deal with Drew Storen in the 9th. Now a 2-run Washington lead.
It's been an entertaining ball game. There's been home runs. There's been some sparkling defense on both sides. The Cubs hoping for a little dramatic last at-bat rally. First things first, Rosscup has to get the Nationals out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Espinosa gave them the lead with a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning, and they have not trailed since. He's added a double, struck out.
Out
for way foul. I don't have details, but a broken bat went into the crowd at Fenway Park tonight, and it sounds like it's pretty serious. Fan was injured. It was a Brett Laurie broken bat, 2nd inning. Bat broke at the handle. Espinosa dribbles it foul. Mark Townsend with the Yahoo Sports article. Jagged barrel launched into the seats. It was to the left of home plate. Boy, we hope that fan is okay. I think baseball's done a pretty good job here the last few years, JD, with some pretty extensive studies about the different types of wood and how bats break. We still see a fair amount of broken bats, but there was an epidemic, what, 4 or 5 years ago, where it's just out of control.
It just snapped, and that barrel would go flying, and it was a very dangerous projectile. And yeah, now they have very stringent testing about the quality of the wood, the handle, the barrel ratio, and
obviously hockey players used to use wooden sticks. They no longer do. I don't think anybody ever wants to go away from wooden bats to some sort of synthetic composite that would act like a wooden bat. But they can be very dangerous when they break. 2-2, swing, and he fouled it.
But there have been advances, right, with the composite bats, because for the longest time, the metal bats, the way the ball jumped off the bat, it was just too dangerous, and especially in the college game, kids were getting hurt, amateurs were getting hurt, the ball would come off with such velocity off the bat, and then they reworked the bats.
Right.
So I guess I could see a time in the future where if the composite bat were to mirror the wooden bat.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is Espinosa lifts it to left. Easy play for Coughlin. Of all the conversations in all the different sports, but baseball, with trying to protect players and fans in terms of safety, the helmets. The pitchers, base coaches, all of that stuff. Have you ever heard one person bring up the idea of getting rid of wooden bats at this level? I haven't heard one. Swinging strike on Taylor. Over but low.
Pirates lead the Braves 6-4. Bottom of the sixth in Atlanta. Pirates have been playing really good baseball for quite a while now. Andrew McCutchen, he's been on fire. He's up to 292. Remember when we last saw him? He was in about a 210.
In the dirt.
Neil Walker has homered tonight. Starling Marte hit his 11th.
Dan Uggla on deck.
Charlie Morton pitching for Pittsburgh tonight against Williams Perez for Atlanta. I'm familiar with Williams.
Small fan, big glove. The fan will get bigger and the glove won't look quite as big as time goes on. Outside for ball 4. So Ross Cup will face Dan Uggla. Came on last night trying to get down a bunt before eventually fouling out. I, as you know, play a lot of tennis, and it will never happen because of injury concerns for the top pros. But I've always kind of thought it would be fun to have one major tournament
with a wooden
which
racket.
you were required to wear to use a wooden racket. Wouldn't that be interesting to watch?
But yeah, it was like an old timers game, a throwback tennis match, and they would have to wear like long pants, like Bill Tilden or somebody back in the day.
Ross Cup here in the 8th. Grimm gave up a run in the 7th.
So then that would be a good sport for an aspiring baseball player. Tennis or racquetball, anything that emphasizes hand-eye coordination like that.
Jeff Conine was a world-class racquetball player. Doubles. Pulled, and it gets under the glove of Bryant. That's going to go to the corner. Taylor racing around third. He's going to score. Dan Uggla makes it 7-4.
Nationals were able to add one in the 7th off Justin Grimm. Now they get to Ross Cup here in the 8th, making Drew Storen's job that much easier as you contemplate the 9th. And Chris Bryant just not able to get in position, get his glove down in time to handle that hot smash off the bat of Uggla.
Still only one out. Foul pop by Span. We noted this at Wrigley Field. Span has a unique batting stance in which the front or the right foot is pointing kind of back at the catcher. It looks rather awkward.
Turn it in severely and kind of curls that front shoulder. See, so he starts with his foot in like that and his shoulder turned a little bit, and then as the pitch is about to be delivered, he kind of drops into that crouch position. I don't know if he changes his foot at that point or not. I don't know if this is just to make sure you stay closed kind of thing. See, as he'll start high and then drop into a crouch. See if that foot moves. He just pivots on it a little bit.
Span with that highlight reel grab, robbing Rizzo of extra bases. Knocked in a run earlier. 2 home runs in this series at Wrigley last week. He's been the proverbial thorn in the side of the Cubs in this season series. Chop to Rizzo, runner advancing to third. Span is out. And 2 outs.
And Anthony Rizzo making a bid for his 3rd home run, if not a home run, at least an extra base hit. And Span was able to go up and get it. Taylor made the play earlier in the ball game to throw Chris Bryant out at second, trying to stretch a single into a double. Rendon made a real nice play down at third base. First 4 games between these teams this season, there was a total of 14 runs scored. Everything played very close. Tonight, 7 runs, 12 hits for the Nationals, and the Cubs 4 would have been enough to win all the other games in this series. One thing that Chris Bosio may talk about with his guys after this one is, perhaps it's just the scouting report on these hitters, but it doesn't seem like the Cubs have done a lot of work inside tonight against these national hitters. Wada, his stuff was flat tonight, and I think he just didn't trust it. Didn't want to challenge inside. Didn't have that good late life on his fastball.
Knocked down by Montero. A runner at third. Cubs' next opponent, the Detroit Tigers, and they're trying to avoid losing their 8th in a row. They're playing the White Sox in Chicago tonight, 1-1 in the 7th. 3-2 to Zimmerman. Fouled out of play. They haven't lost 8 in a row in 10 years. And a payoff delivery. Swing and a miss to end the inning. They add 1 to their lead to the 9th. It's 7-4. 17 already on the year. That's tied for the National League lead with Trevor Rosenthal of the Cardinals. He has not allowed a run in his last 16 1/3 innings. He's given up 14 hits this year, only 1 for extra bases. That was a Grady Sizemore double.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about saves and how sometimes it can be a bit of a cheap statistic, but there's nothing cheap about what this guy has accomplished so far this year. 0.81 ERA, 28 strikeouts against just 3 walks. He's a guy who goes out there and uses a variety of pitches. Fastball, slider, change. Sink the fastball, throw a 4-seamer as well.
Montero homered in the 6th. That made it a 1-run game. Now the Cubs are down 3. First pitch swinging and a bouncer to the second baseman Espinosa in shallow right. He throws to Zimmerman for the out. Scoring 27. Brownsburg, Indiana, and then went on to Stanford. 10th overall pick in the 09 draft.
The Strasburg draft, right? You got them both in the first round.
Yep, Strasburg went 1. Storen went 10.
So Harper, Rendon, Zimmerman, all first round draft picks. They've acquired a lot of high upside talent here, and they've done a lot of winning the last 3 seasons.
Desmond was drafted in 04 by the then Montreal Expos, and then Zimmerman the following year when they became the Nationals. How many Expos are still in the big leagues?
I think just Desmond.
Well, I mean,
guys that
were actually.
Oh, guys that actually played for Montreal?
Yeah.
I don't think there are any.
2004 was their last year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Bartolo Colon would be one.
There you go.
Of course.
Just think of the
whenever you don't know the
oldest guys.
It's Bartolo Colon. So it's up to Castro now. Fans on their feet here in D.C.
Joe Madden will hand the ball to Jason Hamill tomorrow. He was dominant last time out against the Fish down there in Miami. We're anticipating a major league debut for Joel Ross for the Nationals.
Swing and a miss, 1-1 the count. $36,124 here tonight. Early start tomorrow. right here on CSN. Strike 2. Starlin hoping there's a hot streak right around the corner. Average now down below 260 as he tries to keep this game alive.
Nationals bullpen has been airtight here tonight. Barrett, Jansen, Trinan, now Storin.
Trying to help Tanner Roark beat the Cubs for the second time in 2 weeks. Just inside, Coghlan on deck. Tying run is still in the dugout.
Nationals pitching tonight has struck out 10. They have not walked a batter.
Driven out into right center. He's going to go to the wall. Castro hustling towards second. He's got a double. So they are still alive. And it'll bring up Coghlan. Matt Caesar now on deck.
Got 27 outs. You might as well use them all. Keep battling and nothing else. Make Storin work hard out there. Make him throw a few more pitches. That's the payday for Castro right there when he's looking to drive the ball the other way. Good things happen for him.
Strike one on Coghlan. To left. It will bring up the tying run as Castro's going to score. Coghlan with an RBI single, 7-5.
Backdoor breaking ball served the other way by Coghlan. Picks up his 13th RBI.
Playing no doubles. Moving everybody back. In the outfield. Taylor way back there and left. All this happening after there were 2 outs.
Ooh, that didn't have to be. Now with Caesar's speed, he could dump one in front of those outfielders and still end up with a double. And roll it through the infield. They would have a long way to go to get it. And he's just worried about trying to get on base now. And finds the bottom of his own.
2 strikes on Matt Caesar. 7-5 in the ninth. The pitch. He bounced it. Anxious times for that young Nationals fan.
Strike three, got him on the breaking ball. And the Nationals win it 7-5.
Cubs able to make a little noise here in the ninth against Storen, but key to the game was the Nationals' ability to play add-on against the Cubs bullpen late, nullifying an outstanding performance by Anthony Rizzo. Man, is he fun to watch tonight.
So join us tomorrow right here on CSN Game 3 of this 4-gamer at 11 o'clock pregame time, 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Your final score: Nationals 7, Cubs 5. And now for JD and our entire CSN crew here in D.C., Glenn Casper inviting you to stay tuned for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.